PR Connections Radio presents.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Evelyn's Roundtable. This podcast highlights a host of relevant topics. Our conversations share voices of women of color, Black women veterans and veterans, allies, candidates, and elected officials, entrepreneurs, teachers, students, and others. We also explore important issues and challenges such as grassroots leadership, job training, homelessness, and mental health advocacy, accountability, male inclusion, and civics. Our mission statement is to empower all women. Do you hear me? All women to hold hands as we rise. Well, hello. And thank both of you for being on here. What a pleasure. I think this is going to be a good hour here that we're going to have great conversations. The topic tonight is going to be about women challenges in Nevada, which, you know, Kelly, I know you're on here and I really appreciate you for being on here, but I think that you have a lot to say about what we're getting ready to talk about. And I really respect you. And I want everybody to know that because you're down to earth. You really are. And you get it. And that's what we need. We need to have men that get it. That's what we need to have.
Very good.
And Dr. Erika Smith, thank you so much. I mean, you've been my girl for a minute. You know, we met and we talked and we chimed, you know, we've been having good conversations, and I'm really glad that you're on here. And thank both of you for being on here. So let's just get in it. And we're going to start with Kelly first, if that's okay. So I'm thinking a whole bunch of things here, right? When you say women challenges, because I say women issues, but I was corrected and say we can't say issues anymore. We're supposed to be, correct and say challenges. So what challenges do you think here in Nevada that you could help with, and what you're involved with? And the third thing, what you're doing out here in the community to help?
Well, some of my background, I'm a correctional officer, correctional sergeant with the Department of Corrections. So I've been out there for 17 years now and see a lot of the community issues there, or the aftermath of it. And before that, I regulated EMS and fire for years prior to that. And I originally became a firefighter when I was 19 years old in Montana and Idaho, doing wildland firefighting, and moved to Nevada 36 years ago. I've lived in the district here for the last 26 years, right, in the Spring Valley Lakes area. So again, I'm running for the Assembly District number 5, which is the Spring Valley Lakes area. And the extreme borders of that go from Alta down to Russell, almost Rainbow, up to Hualapai. So that's the district I'm in. I ran last cycle as well and didn't win that cycle, but I'm running it again. I just won the primary June 11th, and now we're on to the general. Some of the issues that I see right now is education. That's shifted to my number one issue right now, is our school system, and where things are going with that is sometimes very appalling. And last cycle, it was a lot about the government reaching into our freedoms, especially during COVID, and shutting down our state the way it did. So that was my main issue there, and everything kind of fell in behind that. This cycle, it's education, and things are falling in behind that. The school choice issues, AB 400, the last cycle, that was the governor's bill that he put forth for some of the school choice, the scholarships, the vouchers, and the money following the students. And that bill really got gutted. And I would like to see some of that put back in, especially the school choice and the scholarship programs. actually went to interim finance to try to get funding for that continued opportunity scholarship, because there was a lot of students that were going to have to leave their programs. And interim finance turned it down, but the governor found other sources to help make that happen.
So, but then I'm gonna change it on you, right? So I want to know, how do you feel that what you're talking about is going to help the girls and the ladies that are in this state? How do you feel, or even women of color, girls of color, how is that going to help what you just talked about? Because this is what the topic is about, women challenges, right? So how do you feel?
Girls,
well, the things that you're talking about, how is what you're talking about going to correlate or collaborate with helping the women of color in the younger ladies in Nevada?
The girls and the women into the systems, those scholarships apply for them also. And the opportunity scholarships are for disadvantaged students and for lower income students. So that is huge. And let me back up to my job. And in the prison system, by far the majority of inmates in the prison system came from broken families without a father figure present. Now, I say that, and there's a lot of fathers that do very, very fine jobs raising their kids, even with divided families. But we need to really work on keeping the family unit together as well. But now going back into the trades that you're all about also, and that's how we first met even, is keeping opportunities in the trades. And the program that you're doing is huge in keeping women in the trades and doing the apprenticeship programs and keeping them plugged in and off the streets. And by allowing those programs at a legislative point of view and keeping those programs going, those funding sources going, and supporting those, that's where I see a lot of these issues can help girls in the trades.
That's where we at. That's exactly where we're at. So, Miss Erika, can you chime in on what are your thoughts for future challenges that need to be taken care of for women in Nevada?
Well, first of all,
tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Miss Evelyn, for having me on. Thank you so much. I've known Evelyn for since 2021.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, and I met her through a mutual friend, and we just hit it off at the very beginning. So I am Dr. Erika Smith. I'm a dentist by trade. That's my profession. I have so many hats that I wear now that I definitely, through financial literacy and help and just really helping the community, I think that's kind of where I'm at. Really serving in all capacities. I like to make sure our community is uplifted, because I really feel like, as even as being able to speak as a Black woman, we sometimes, a lot of times we get left behind in the conversation. And so I'm like Shirley Chisholm, I'm gonna just pull up a seat at the table, and that's what we're doing. So I really want to make sure that as women, especially when we're talking about women in trades, I think that is such a good niche. And I think we need to make sure that has enough awareness put on it. You're doing great. I mean, I've known you for all those years, and I've seen your program grow and grow and grow, and more awareness is coming. But I think we can do more. I think that it needs to be all hands on deck, all the way from the local level, all the way up to the state level, and all the way up to the federal level, that we recognize these types of programs that really help all women succeed. We know that you were the first plumber. We know that you've made history in our state of Nevada. We want to have more women being able to make their own history and being able to have good paying jobs where they can support their families. I think those are things that are very important. The fact that you've been able to put this program together really by yourself. I'm gonna just put look. I'm gonna put that out there, because that's and I want to say, I want people to know that She really started this. This was a vision that she had for women. And, I'm glad that we have a man on here that's supporting the women. I'm always going to support the women, and I'm going to support women doing great things for the community and in the community. That's where I'm at.
That's great. That's great. I know, Kelly, me and you had a conversation. Oh, gosh, where were we all at? We all met up, a month or so ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe. And something like that. But I know that, Kelly, me and you always talk about school. That's where we go. That's our go-to right there, right? Because of the bullying and things that I was complaining about with that my grandchild went through, my granddaughter, I should say. And I know you were talking about some things that there's some changes in that too, that you were talking about some things that need to be put in or taken out. So can you kind of like refresh my memory, please?
Well, there is the bullying issue, and you're really the first one that brought it up with your daughter that got me really checking into it. And it is an ongoing issue. I've heard from at least a half dozen parents now that I think from the same school that your granddaughter goes to that are having the same exact issues. And they're being bullied. They're being bullied out in the street, off the school grounds. The principal's not doing anything. The teacher aren't doing anything. The principals aren't doing anything. The school police aren't doing anything.
Nope.
So, and again, the number one concern I hear from teachers, even still, is the lack of control in their classroom. So that's an ongoing issue. That was carried over cycle that I was running. And it is just ongoing. I was talking to one of the school staff earlier this morning at work, and I'm like, how do we fix it? And, is it in statute? Is it in regulation? Is it in school policy? And it's all the way down the line.
Yes.
And ideally, if school policy can fix it, then they would. If the NACs can fix it, then they would. So, okay, now we're to the point of looking at legislating it then, if they can't do it there. That's what legislature does. We have to write the laws for the administrators to write regulations and policies to comply with. So if we can get to that point, and this is an ongoing issue with school board candidates, they're on the same page. Other legislators and sitting legislators and other candidates, it's a big concern. And across the valley, we've been ranked in the bottom 5 for decades in the country.
Yeah.
And since my kids were in school, we were in the bottom 5. Now we're in the bottom 49, 50. And, we're trying to attract other companies coming here and to develop companies and a workforce here, but who's going to want to bring their kids here if our schools are lousy? So, even though like my kids are grown, they're out of school. And I hear that from a lot of people. Well, I don't have kids in school, so I don't have a dog in the fight. Well, yeah, you do. It affects our entire community.
Absolutely.
And it takes people being involved.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, we have to be involved across the board. And, even the last election, throw this out there. So in my precinct, there was a 20% turnout in the primary. Really? With all the stuff going on in our country and in our community, and we get a 20% turnout. So I'm hoping that we'll do better than that. But being involved, going back to the schools, my kids were in school. I'd go to the PTO meetings, or what used to be called PTA meetings, but they're PTO meetings. And a lot of times I was the only guy there. Didn't even think about going to school board meetings. So, but we have to participate in that. Some of the stuff that you and I have talked about before, Evelyn, was the sexuality training in the school system here. And it's not teaching about sex, it's teaching how to. And I don't think that has a place in the classroom, especially in elementary school. And there seems to be this obsession with pushing that into the school system. It's definitely in the libraries. I give you a whole list of these books that are in different libraries in the schools.
Yes, it's a library.
So, NRS 201 actually defines what obscenity is in Nevada. It's defined in statute, and the types of materials, and if it involves minors, and et cetera, on down the line. But there's an exclusion. There's 2 exclusion clauses that exclude schools, universities, libraries, and museums. So schools and libraries, you see in the media a lot where they're doing a lot of this sexuality training and grooming, if you will. But there's a reason they're in the schools and the libraries, because they're exempt from being arrested. If they were to do them in a park, say, or some other, your shop, and you were to take some of these materials and show them to a child, you're subject to being arrested for it. So one of my issues is to remove those exemptions. So make them liable, just like anybody else, to the laws of trafficking obscene materials to minors. And that might slow it down a little bit. Now, there's plenty of other areas in that same chapter that allow for teaching anatomy, physiology, science, the arts, things like that. But you're not pushing the sexuality onto the kids. So, and a lot of people look at that as censoring books in the school. Well, they need to be age appropriate. And I've talked to you about this before too, that a stack of these books that I've seen anyway. Now, I work in a prison system. Pornography is allowed in a prison system. It just can't show penetration of any kind or children in suggestive poses. The books that they're fighting to have removed off the book list wouldn't even be allowed in a men's prison. How is it they're being allowed in an elementary school library? Yep. And so that part of NRS 201, that's one of my things that I want to push for this next cycle. And so that's one of many.
Wow.
The bullying part of it, to come back to that though, we need to get or put the systems in place so that the teachers can get control of their classroom. The gal I was talking to this morning, she said they've got students that will come in and just flip the desks and destroy the classroom. They can't get rid of them. And they take them out for a minute for their little cool down period and then put them right back in the same classroom.
Yes. Well, and you know what the interesting part about all this is? The kids know that, y'all.
Yes.
They know this. So, Erika, I know you can make some comments on bullying and all that as an adult doing to another adult. Would you like to chime in?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, so, but a lot of times what happens is they start off as children bullying, and then it just continues into adulthood. And so, yes, I mean, I can definitely, being that I was on the campaign trail and people are bullying, and you can feel and people are bullying because they may not want you to run or, absolutely. So it's not just the children who are doing it, it's the adults doing bullying too. We're seeing it more in the society that we live in, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, so true.
It's unacceptable.
And a lot of that violence or that bullying turns into violence.
Absolutely.
So my whole thing is this too, is why do we need to do a bill that you're already supposed to be held accountable for in doing, and then we got to turn around and do a bill to make you be accountable for what you're supposed to be accountable for.
Exactly. And we shouldn't have to do that. Like I said, it should be in policy and the Nevada Administrative Code. So it shouldn't have to get to legislating.
That's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm like,
but that's where it comes into the showing up at the school boards. If the school board would get more pressure on them to change some of these policies, it could be handled at the policy level. But the school board, when I've gone to the school boards, it seems to always fall on deaf ears. Yes. They just sit there and listen to you, go through the motions, and then they do what they want to do.
Yeah. No, I totally.
Which is why we have elections.
Yep.
Yes. We do know elections have consequences. And so, we have to make sure we're getting the right people in these positions where we're talking about the future of our children, how our children are learning. I don't have a child, but but that doesn't make it to where I don't think that I need to still be involved. I need to still understand what's happening. And, I feel like I'm still a stakeholder.
Well, isn't that what? See,
We
Kelly
all are.
just said that though. He just said that. Even this is why I do this podcast too, y'all, because it's really time to be real. It's really
Right.
time to say how we feel. And I'm an adult. We're all adults on here. We can have candid conversations and that. We don't need to
Absolutely.
yell, scream, or say, "Oh, you're this aggressive." No, I'm not, because I'm not cussing. I'm not yelling. We're having a conversation right here between all three of us. And it's just really so sad. I think it's almost like we need to get the ones that are really doing something, and all of us get together, no matter if we're Democrat or Republican. That should have nothing to do with anything right now,
Yeah.
because we are really going through some hard times right here in Nevada, I feel.
Absolutely.
And make phone calls and say, "Hey, are you going to this meeting?" "No, I'm not." "But okay, will you go to this meeting? And when you go, can you call me back and let me know what happened and where I need to be at next time?" I'm just feeling that right now, right?
Yep.
Because we all can't be at the same place, and we all kind of divvy it up a little bit, right?
And we did that last session. We had a group of people that got together every week. Every Saturday we did a Zoom call. And I would meet with some other folks during the week. But every Saturday we did a Zoom call and said, okay, these are the bills coming up. This is what happened last week. This is what's on the agenda for this up and coming week. Who can show up and testify? Who can write an opinion? Who can click on the mouse and say they oppose something or support something? And that worked great. And it takes that involvement. I would have liked to have seen it much, much bigger. But even still, there were several groups that were doing the same thing. And the last legislative session became known as that had the most public participation of any legislative session in Nevada, because people would get online and click a mouse and they would get involved, maybe read a bill, read some of the content in it, and click support or oppose. And it takes that. It takes people showing up to Grant Sawyer Building. And, you don't have to go to Carson City. Go to Grant Sawyer Building. It's live streamed right there. You're showing up in front of the committees and put your opinion out there, whether you support it or not. I've done legislative work for years, many, many sessions ago, regulating EMS especially. And I've had legislators tell me, put people in the committee rooms, put butts in seats, and ideally in uniform if you can, because I was doing EMS at the time, and said, but at least get people in the seats. And that's what it takes. It takes the whole citizen lobbyist to show up and know a little bit about what the issues are, at least discuss it, and then show up and testify.
No, I totally agree. I'm going to hit on my bill just a little bit, my AB 305 bill that I submitted last session. But my issue was, I took me and my grandbabies. We went up there. I spent 2 days up there, drove up there, drove back with 2 grandkids in the car. And oh my goodness, y'all. But the part is that I went up there with a bipartisan bill that wouldn't have cost Nevada nothing. And right now we're getting ready to do that Brightline job that needs 9.7% women need to be on that job. It would have been kind of nice if that bill would have got passed to help with what's getting ready to happen, right? Within months, right? That's getting ready to happen. So I just don't understand. But it was sad to me because I went to both sides. I talked to the Democrats. I talked to the Republicans. I got yes, I agree. And then when it was time to vote, I only had one Republican assemblyman that voted for my bill. But it did get passed. But it was really sad to me that more Republicans were not in line with wanting women in the trades. I don't know if it was that or it was the back and forth that was happening up there that we all heard about.
And that was an apprenticeship program, right?
Yes, a pre-apprenticeship. Wouldn't it cost the state nothing?
Yeah, well, that may have been an education issue too. So
yeah, it was just kind of messed up that just to get a percentage of women to be able to get in the trades. I mean, you talk about, I want women, and yes, I want this, I want that. And well, to me, it's like McDonald's and Walmart. I don't see any commercials talking about.
You're saying the actions are not meeting the words.
No,
it's just a lot of lip service.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's not. And just like the school, same thing. I went and complained at that school 3 months after my grandbaby got in there. 3 months is all we had peace of for the school year. No, actually 2 months. You know, I even took a picture of her when she first got on the bicycle, and I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to worry about her. Man, 2 months later, all hell broke loose. Right. And it's sad. You're right. Because I made a report to the school police, which just fell on deaf ears. I got 86 off the property because I made a statement of my grandbaby being depressed and being in the rooms, and how did they know that, I'm gonna just say it. Did Brindley know that kids are out here killing themselves over this right here? And then they 86 me off the property. Oh, well, you said that we're gonna be responsible. Well, you are gonna be responsible because I'm telling you that she's getting depressed. She's in a room by herself. Her grades are going bad, and you're like, I'm the problem, though, right?
Yeah. No,
crazy.
Yeah.
That's just something here.
The policy side of that. So,
but these are just some of the issues that are going on in our schools. And I mean, you got to experience firsthand, unfortunately, with your granddaughter. But we know that these things are going on in different schools across the valley. Yes. And so, it's unacceptable.
It is.
It's ended up with dead students, as you may recall. We've had 2 of them get killed last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, this is real, y'all. This ain't no reality show that we in and everybody's doing whatever. And I'm just like, wow. And I agree with you too, though, Kelly. It's like, and I say it a lot. We got to walk and chew gum at the same time. It's not like this, oh, well, let's do this. And oh, let this group do this. That's not what's going down anymore, y'all. Right. And I know too, with you, Erika, you are doing some things on the side, not just, I mean, you ran and you were great, and you were there, and talking to everybody and everything. And is there anything new that you're doing right now?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm so glad you asked. So I have some amazing things. I'm partnered with a company called Z Suite. They're right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And so we are doing some great things that I'm ready to bring to the community, especially I think are going to be great for our communities of color, and some of our immigrant communities as well, making sure everybody's on the up and up. So we have a great we have our Z Suite Financial Services, which is now able, as of this week, to offer offshore bank accounts with no credit check. So that's really huge because we have a lot of people. Now we're talking about this word called a banking desert. So you're talking about states like Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas, and Georgia. They have banking deserts. And so, we're looking at doing those things. Well, for businesses that are using a POS system, we now can give you that merchant account with no chargebacks, $1 flat transaction fee. We're in decentralized banking. And so there's some great things that I think are great for our small businesses as well as our individuals. So with that bank account, you're able to get a personal account as well as a business account. So I have my own, I'm connected to, because we're on the blockchain, we are a decentralized banking platform. I even have my Tiger wallet, and I have a crypto MasterCard. We have those available for our community as well. So I think there's some great things that we are launching, and I'm super excited and ready to bring it to any and everybody in the community, because I think that those are the things that will uplift communities as well as help people be everything that they're supposed to be, especially when you can see, oh, I have a debit card with my own name. Well, I know that seems to us because we probably have bank accounts, but you have to think about the number of people in the U.S. It's 13 million people in the U.S. that are unbankable. So these are real life solutions that I am partnered with, and I get to help. So I could not be more pleased to say that, hey, if you're one of those people, even if you just want an offshore bank account, I think everyone should have one. I'm just, I'm honest about that. There's a lot going on in our world. And so I'm, get with me, find me, hook up with Miss Evelyn Pacheco. So, I heard that Dr. Erika Smith, she was talking about those bank accounts, and she was talking about that business in the box, which is the POS merchant account. She was talking about all of those things that are helping. So, I'm still here. Look, I like to say I'm out here in these streets. So I'm still out here helping my community, and I'm getting to help them in such. I believe this is a game changer for a lot of our communities. And we are also and we're in 70 countries, okay? So this is not just a US thing. We're talking about over 70 countries. So if you got family in Mexico, you got family in Nigeria, you got family in Ghana, you got people in Japan, I can be of assistance to you. Are they in the Bahamas? Are they in Antigua or Trinidad and Tobago's? Look, they're England, they're in the UK, Canada. I've got them covered for their business. I'm gonna put this out here because a lot of people don't know I have my hands on some other stuff too. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we would never think that you're in cannabis. Yes, I'm connected to the cannabis community as well. So I'm able to help those individuals get their merchant accounts as well as their bank accounts together. Let's get you legit. You don't have to have a house where you have to just store your cash. Let's get you legit. Let's get you really right. So I like to put that out there because people feel different ways about that particular community.
Go ahead. I think Kelly wants to add something.
Yeah, I had a question for you on that. Can you spell that? Is it Z Suite?
Z Suite. So it's ZSUITE. And if you want more information, I'll go ahead and send you to my direct website. So it's www.erikaenterprise.com. So that's ErikaEnterprise.com, erikaenterprise.com.
Okay.
So you can go check out everything. We have some great things. If you go and look at what we have, you can go under shop and see all of the great things we have to offer. We do have that crypto MasterCard, and we will have a Visa debit card. I know a lot of people say they're waiting for that. We just launched that literally probably over the weekend, so it's not quite up. And so I'm getting to really do some great things, and I'm excited. We're on fire, and we're looking to help. The bank account thing to me is the hugest, because when I started seeing those numbers by how many people were in bankable, and that was just the US. That's not talking about across all these different countries.
Yeah,
it's a real situation. And I'm here to help. I'm here to help people. I think, when you run for politics, I'm definitely here to help people. My heart, it has always been for the people. That's where it's always going to be. No matter if I'm in office or I'm not in office, I'm always going to serve. And I always talked about that on the campaign. I talked about servant leadership, and that's exactly what I am. I'm here to serve. And so whatever that looks like, it's funny because I think I'm busier now than I was when I was on the campaign trail. I'm getting hit up on shows. I mean, people, it's crazy. So I'm getting opportunities that I never thought that I would ever have my hands on. And I didn't even ask for it. It's just coming and coming and coming. And so now, I get to serve people in so many different ways that, but the people in the streets have spoken. They said, you're not done. You're not done. They said, you're not done. They won't even look, I was going to sit down. I said, you know what? I'm tired, guys. I'm so passionate about everything. And the turnout was low. There was just a lot of different things that were going on. And I know people see it. I like this, I'm gonna just say, like Kendrick Lamar said, the people are not slow. So y'all know what really happened and what's really going on. So, but my friends and my family and supporters and people, they're like, no, you said you're done. We're not even about to let you be done. So they're like, no, you are not done. I was like, I'm ready to sit down. I'm tired. And they were like, no,
No,
you're not done.
it
And
doesn't.
Evelyn has been one of those people say, no, I don't care what you're talking about, sis. You are not done.
Yes, I have said that. And Kelly, I wanted to hit on, because you said corrections, right? You hit on corrections, and to me, that's a big challenge for women, is reentry. To me, I've been trying to dabble in Florence McClure, and then it's funny because you say Florence McClure women's correctionals, and they're like, "What? Where? We got a prison here, and da da da. And where is it at?" It's not even that far. It's probably what, 20 minutes out.
It's closer than that. It's by the Speedway.
Yeah,
it's not even as far as the
like,
Speedway.
Exactly. And I know, being you were in corrections, you cannot not help but think about that, right? You didn't really talk if you were on the men's or you did the women's or you did both. There really wasn't any conversation, but still you have thoughts on the women in prison and the challenges that they face. And can I get your input on that, please?
Yeah, but you're probably going to be able to ask more questions about it than I can bring to the table. But no, I work out at High Desert State Prison, which is a men's prison. It's the intake facility for Southern Nevada. So every male inmate that comes into the system comes through our facility first, and then go out to the rest of the state from there. Right now we have about 3,400 inmates, and then they go out statewide. And we've got everything from DUI offenders to mass murderers, death row inmates. But there's a lot of different programming and reentry from there that I can see on the men's side of it. The women's side of it, it's a much smaller facility. I've only worked there 2 days my entire career. I'm familiar with what they do there and some of the programming, but I'm not I'm not at it day by day there. So,
right. But you really don't have to be there day by day to know there's nothing going on in that women's prison.
Dogs, they got the puppies on parole.
I mean, that's just kind of my whole thing here is, what happened? Somebody dropped the ball a little bit over there. And I know they talk about funding, but I'm like, well, that's interesting. You can find funding for the men's over there.
The PI programs. I was over in PI today, or Prison Industries out at High Desert.
Thank you.
I was going through there.
Because I was like, what
the heck?
They were closed today, so I was talking to one of the teachers and the officer that works in there, and we were talking about different programs that they have. One of the things that I think is huge there is they've got a heavy equipment operating program. It's all on simulators, though. And I used to be a heavy equipment operator myself. So years and years ago. So I years. Operating engineers for a minute, but no, I worked in mines and different constructions. So I did come to the trades as well. But I would love to get in some of those simulators and work on new equipment. But that's huge for inmates coming out of there. They can go. They've got very much a head start. And like I was talking to the teacher today, I've gotten on a piece of equipment here just fairly recently, and my muscle memory is gone. I can't begin to run a piece of heavy equipment like I used to.
Yeah, you can. It's like getting back on the bike. Don't even say it.
It takes a minute. But these guys coming out of the prison like that, and they can walk right into and have a knowledge on how to run that piece of equipment. That's huge for them. And well-paying jobs as well. And they've got a welding program there, which is huge. And I was looking at all the equipment they had for that, and woodworking and laser making.
Oh, okay. So I want to interject, because I'm trying to figure out why we can't do that in the women's prison, why we can't bring that women in trades and have these women ready to go to work.
That's I mean, because you hear,
I'm just sitting here like,
I mean, we're not trying to throw you under the bus, Kelly,
no, I agree.
But my whole issue, did you hear how many things you kept rolling off about what's going on over here at the men? And then I'm like, okay, so we teach them to do hair over at the women's prison, y'all. That's what we teaching them right now, right? Oh, you can do hair. Okay, well, wait a minute.
And I think women can do more than hair. So, so I'm trying to figure out how we get your program into that prison system. So now we have women coming out with good paying jobs. They feel good about themselves. I mean, I'm just thinking about all the things that would be helpful to a woman that's trying to be in reentry. They're trying to reenter into the community, reenter into society. But you can't do that without the right preparation.
Right.
And so when you have a program like Evelyn's Women in Trades, it's obvious to me that should be in the prison. Like, I don't know why we're, the fact that we even here having to say this is just ridiculous.
So why wouldn't it? Like, Evelyn, your program that you're doing, how easy would that be to transition into a secured environment like that?
I mean, very easy, because we're online.
So, well, there you go.
I mean,
there you go. I mean, talking about welding and all that.
I've just been saying this for what, 4 years. We've been doing this now, going on 5, and I've been saying. But again, it goes back to, oh well, Evelyn, the funding. But that's interesting, because you found funding for all the things that you just said, which are beautiful things.
Yeah.
Right.
But why are we not doing that for the women side?
And that would be a very good conversation to have with the director and the deputy director, and find out if they have space there. Why not? So, and it's my understanding they've got some space there.
Oh yes. Yeah. And I get what you're saying about there's less women than men, but we have to realize that most of the women are the head of household in this state.
Absolutely.
That's the part that we have to remember. Right.
Well, it's interesting.
Let's empower our women.
Change it. I do, because my grandbaby is going to be done with Brindley, because I'm over that. And it was because I could go in there and pick and do what I need to do. And now she's going to be able to go to a better school this time. But it's just really sad to me that it seems to be one-sided on a lot of things here in this city. But I'm glad we're having all these conversations. But I just want you to give a last few, anything that you want to talk about. We're going to give you a good 30 seconds, Kelly, to really talk about some things that you have been thinking about, or you want to say, your website, all that good stuff. Because again, thank you for being on here and all that. I really appreciate you that you are doing what you're doing out here.
Well, thank you for putting it out there too, and for what you're doing as well. But real quick, my website is quinn4nv.com. It's all spelled out. So QUINNFORNV.com. And it's got my email, my cell phone's on there. Easy way to contact. Biggest things that I need from folks is to turn out and vote.
Yes.
That's going to be huge in November. And we need people to participate in the process.
And your focus, your focus. You didn't say that part. So what are you focusing on when you get in? What are give us a couple of things.
My main focus again is education this cycle. Education, parental rights. I don't think government should be overreaching into our homes and our kids. And I think that the government shouldn't be able to do things. I include the schools with the government. Shouldn't be reaching across affecting our kids without involving the parents. So parental rights are huge to me. There's a lot of secrecy going on, and that needs to stop. Public safety is, of course, another issue for me. I've worked fire, I've worked EMS, I've worked as a regulator for EMS, and now law enforcement for several years. So I think we need to support all of that. We got a lot of support this last legislative session, which has helped tremendously, but we still have a long ways to go there as well. So the public safety aspect of it in our district right now, the two main crime issues are stolen cars and home invasions. So we need to really get a handle on that and support law enforcement in those efforts to curtail that. Those are the top three things, in my opinion. There's some other things further down left over from last cycle that, like I say, I don't think any governor should be able to lock down our community and our state the way that Governor Sisolak did. And there's some protective measures I'd like to put in place for that. Having worked emergency response, emergency management, there's a lot of things that we can rein in some of that overreach without tying the hands of the responders.
Okay.
So, and we can discuss that at a later time too, if you'd like.
Yes,
But
yes. This is not the last time, y'all. We finna do this again.
Yeah,
so, Erika, can you give a couple things or some things you want to say in the next 30 seconds here? Whatever. Put your interview out there.
Myself or Erika?
Erika.
Who you want? Oh, okay. Because I was trying to figure who are we talking about.
Well,
Okay.
Kelly, she just did his, and Kelly Quinn for Nevada.com, y'all. Don't forget
that.
Yes,
okay. Make sure you remember that.
Yes. Okay.
Go out and vote for Kelly Quinn. I want to put that out there. But definitely, if you're trying to reach me about any of the things that I spoke about today, you can always go to my personal email. I have all these other emails, but go to my personal email, erikajDDS@yahoo.com. So ErikaJDDS@yahoo.com. If you like what I talked about and want maybe have some questions, you're looking to help small businesses, you're looking to help individuals, you want to maybe put a program together. So I'm talking to the churches, I'm talking to nonprofits. If you're out there helping people, I definitely want you to partner with me in helping people become bankable, helping people being able to uplift themselves and feel good about themselves. I think people feel good when they're able to have those things finally. And not have to go through all the hoops and things that our centralized banking takes us through. And we know that that's a problem. Let's get people on good footing, get them all the way together. And I think that's all I've got. So if you want to go check out my website, erikaenterprise.com. Would love to have conversations with anyone. Would love to come and talk to whomever needs to hear this information.
I am so, this was a good, I know we didn't hit on everything, but this was really a conversation about we the people. This is exactly what we did tonight. We didn't talk about any candidates. There was no negativity. Yep. It was about we the people, things that need to be happening in our state of Nevada, because we do care about other states, but we really care about what's happening.
Yes, we do.
And voting, I'm glad both of you said that too, because I cannot believe what's going on right now. And hey, no matter, again, if you're Democrat, Republican, partisan, independent, you need to vote, y'all.
Yeah.
A lot of people died just for us to have this right here and what we're doing. So that's really and again, this won't be the last time. I would love to have both of you back on again. I love this conversation. Thank you, Kelly. I'm so glad you agreed. I was like, he might not do this one. And males need to be involved.
Florence McClure thing. So
yes,
I'm going to be over there on Monday. By the way,
to be back on.
Yes, men need to be involved in this conversation. Everybody,
absolutely,
you can't exclude the men, y'all. And that's real talk. So I'm going to end it with the mission statement is to empower all women and hold hands as we rise. Thank all you for being on here. Love the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.